Lovable, building full stack apps through conversation. Agenda, app development approaches. Lovable history. Why lovable app generation lifecycle. Getting started. Basic workflow. Plan mode and build mode. App development approaches. Building a working app traditionally means writing front-end code, back-end logic, and a database schema, then wiring them all together by hand. If every small idea requires setting up a full development environment first, a lot of promising ideas never get past the planning stage. Almost every founder and designer eventually runs into the gap between having an idea and having a working, clickable product. Any team that wants to validate an idea quickly benefits from a way to go from description to working software in minutes, not weeks. Requiring a full engineering team just to test whether an idea is worth building doesn't scale to how many ideas are worth trying. Manual development and prompt to app. Manual full stack development means writing front-end components, back-end endpoints, and database schemas by hand, then connecting them yourself. Lovable instead generates a working full stack application, front-end, back-end, database, and authentication directly from a natural language description. Manual, hand-coded front-end, hand-coded back-end, database, wired together manually. Prompt to app. Lovable, described in plain English, generated as working code. Problems with manual rapid prototyping. Single point of delay. Setting up a front end, back end, and database from scratch takes real time before any idea can be tested. Non-technical founders and designers often can't validate an idea without first finding an engineer. Small changes to an early prototype can mean touching several disconnected parts of a codebase. Every new idea competes for scarce engineering time, even when it's just meant to be tested. Early stage validation often doesn't need production grade architecture, but building manually tends to produce it anyway. Misses out on the spend of testing many ideas quickly before committing real engineering effort to one. The lovable system, a natural language description, is interpreted and turned into an actual application, not just a visual mockup. Generated apps include a front-end, back-end logic, and database, commonly built on Supabase for storage and authentication. The resulting code syncs to GitHub, so what you get is a real, editable codebase, rather than a black box only accessible through chart. Related AI app building tools: Volt, V0, Replite Agent. Lovable advantages: goes from a plain English description to a workable, clickable application in minutes. Produces a real, owned codebase synced to GitHub, not just a locked-in visual prototype. Built-in Supabase integration handles backend storage, authentication, and data out of the box. Plan mode and agent mode support both careful planning and rapid iterative building. Lets non-technical founders and designers test ideas without waiting on engineering resources. Has expanded beyond app building into broader tasks like data analysis and presentation takes. everything becomes real, editable code almost. One huge benefit of this design is that almost everything Lovable generates is real, editable code, not a disposable prototype. The distinction the product itself draws is between a mock-up you can only click through and a product you can actually keep building on. Because the codebase syncs to GitHub, a project can graduate from a quick experiment into something a real engineering team continues developing. This means an idea tested in an afternoon doesn't have to be thrown away and rebuilt if it turns out to be worth pursuing. This real code, not just a demo principle, is central to how Lovable positions itself against simpler mockup tools. Plan mode and build mode. Plan mode. Think through an app structure before generating it. Build mode. Generate and iterate on working code directly. A simplified prompt to app request. A natural language description is turned into a structured build request. A generated Supabase data model. Generated apps commonly include a Supabase backed schema for storage and auth. History began in 2023 as GPT engineering effort, an open source project by Anton Osika and Preben Hedin in Stockholm that went viral on GitHub. Relaunched under the Lovable name, expanding from a developer tool into a natural language app builder for a much broader audience. Grew rapidly, becoming one of the fastest growing software startups in European history within about 2 years of launch. Raised significant funding at a multi-billion dollar valuation as adoption scaled into the millions of users. Expanded beyond an app building into broad tasks like data analysis and presentation generation, positioning itself as a general purpose AI collaborator. Why Lovable matters? Fast turns a plain English description into a working app in minutes. Real generates an actual editable codebase rather than a disposable markup. Accessible lets non-technical founders and designers build without an engineering team. Connected built-in Supabase integration handles backend and auth automatically. Iterative plan mode and agent mode support both upfront thinking and fast building. Rapidly growing among the fastest adopted software products in recent years. The vibe coding workflow. Vibe coding describes building software primarily through natural language, iterating, iterating conversationally rather than editing code directly. Most changes are made by describing what you want differently, not by opening a code editor. The underlying code is still real and inspectable for anyone who does want to dig in directly. Never assume a generated app needs no further review. Testing and understanding what was built still matters before relying on it. Lovable app generation lifecycle. Natural language prompt. Describe Build front end plus back end generate. Click through the live app preview. Publish it live deploy. You describe the app you want. Lovable generates the front end and back end. You preview it live and then deploy it with a click. Getting started with Lovable. This leads us to the three steps that get your first app built. Create an account. Register for free through Lovable's website. Describe your app. Explain what you want to build in plain language. Iterate and deploy. Adjust with follow prompts, then publish. Basic workflow. Describing, iterating, and publishing. Some call describe, iterate, and publish Lovable's everyday loop. Specific detailed prompts generally produce more accurate first draft. Follow prompts refine layout, behavior, and data without starting over. Plan mode helps think through structure before generating a more complex app. Publishing takes a working prototype live without a separate deployment step. Supports many workflows, MVPs, internal tools, landing pages, and small business apps. Works the same whether you are technical and building your very first application. Any questions? Thank you.